What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this one, we're going to be talking about some stocks that today went absolutely parabolic, and what are the odds that they continue these moves higher, and if they are going to move lower, which is very likely when we see stocks go absolutely parabolic. What goes up must come down. Where could we see these stocks kind of end up at after kind of the craziness starts to end? So if you guys do enjoy the information and technical analysis that I do provide you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information, especially out about these specific stocks, to as many people who do want to learn. Again, I want to make sure that all retail investors are going to be protected, especially when they're putting their money into something that might be a little bit more risky. So let's get right into it here. The first one, Revlon. So when we come over and take a look at the news as to what exactly happened with Revlon today, Revlon gets court approval for a $1.4 billion bankruptcy loan. So recently, what's been happening with Revlon, if we look at this 4-hour time frame, they announced bankruptcy here. There was potential buyout rumors coming up here. We saw this 1348 cross up back here, and it ended up topping out right around 990 or about 989. Now, recently, Revlon has received another cross-up on this 4-hour time frame right here, and it got its first closing candle above the 200 exponential moving average. But the RSI is wildly cooked right now. We have the MACD flipping into the green, shaft trend signal signaling buy. But what was the height of this 4-hour candle here? 990. So it came up to previous resistance, got rejected, and came back down to 849. Now, again, these types of plays like Revlon have the potential, if they get enough juice on them, to run pretty significantly. But again, what goes up must come down. Retail investors most of the time are phenomenal at picking which stocks are going to go on parabolic moves. What retail investors may not be as good at most of the time is knowing when to get out of some of these plays and lock in profits. A stock goes up 89% during a day, it might be smart to take some money off the table. If you have a big position, you can make it free. You can take your initial investment back and let the rest of it ride completely risk-free. But if we are going to see Revlon come back down, here's kind of what I would look at. I would look at this first level of previous resistance that could act as support at 656. That's a pretty significant drop, but with the volatility on Revlon right now, it's very possible that it does come back down very significantly. But again, if you do get that break above 990 here, you could see it run up pretty significantly. Now, again, the other reason why a lot of people are talking about Revlon right now is that when we look at the Ortex data right here, which again is not necessarily completely accurate, but we have 79% estimated short interest on this thing. So if it continues to the upside, you could see a decent amount of these shorts adding that additional buying pressure and getting out of their position. But I think the main thing that we need to understand here is that it's incredibly risky. Me personally, I'm not playing these stocks to the upside. I just want to make sure that you guys fully see the charts that I'm looking at, and just kind of the possibility of these different stocks as well. And again, guys, if you do want to learn more about this 1348 strategy right here, make sure you check out that link down below. We have a full built out curriculum of about 14 to 16 videos right now, teaching you guys the basics of options all the way up through the 1348 strategy. We have over 55 private live streams every single month, and we also alert you guys when these crosses do happen on over 450 stocks on multiple different time frames. When you combine that with the algorithms that we provide you guys, the real-time options data, and these charts that you guys can get, nobody else is offering you guys this type of value. So again, check out that link down below, but let's hop into this next stock right here, and that is going to be HKD. Now, this stock recently IPO'd and recently rose over 1,000%. So another stock that is going absolutely parabolic right now. Now, again, this is going to be a metaverse play. It's backed by a Hong Kong conglomerate. Its success is a triumph of hype and fortune coming before performance. So this stock right here recently IPO'd, and typically when stocks IPO, sometimes the IPOs go very, very, very well. You start to see a lot of buying pressure come in. We saw this specifically with Rivian a couple of months ago, where their IPO was actually awesome. They dripped in the shares really appropriately, and then all of a sudden you started to see it come back down as people were selling into that massive rip. Now with HKD right here, Again, since it has recently IPO'd, there's not much data that we're going to have on this stock. Now, again, it's going to come with a lot of inherent risk. So if you are considering buying this stock right here, after it's already gone up over 1,000%, which in my mind may not be the smartest thing to do, but again, at the end of the day, it is your money. You can do whatever you would like with it. Me personally, if I was going to get into this stock, I'd probably buy in with a pretty small amount, take a shot at it. Hopefully I could get some of my initial investment back before most likely this thing comes tumbling down, because that is most likely what's going to happen with these stocks. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not this week, but eventually these stocks are going to end up coming back down to what would be deemed by the market in general as fair value. Now, the last stock that I do want to talk about here is another kind of retail investor favorite that does have potential for some upside. But again, most likely after these significant runs, they're probably going to come back to the downside as well. So when we pull up Rdbx here, we can see that why Rdbx Entertainment rallied 23% at the open today. The video rental company has gotten caught up in meme stock mania. Now, I don't really like Motley Fool here, but again, we are seeing stocks like Revlon, Redbox, HKD, some of these other stocks getting very significant movements to the upside, and I do want you guys to be fully prepared for what could potentially happen in the market over the coming days. Remember, we've seen the overall market, the SPY, go on about a 7.5% run recently, and it does make sense for the market to have a couple of days of pullback, and we can actually pull that up really quickly here. Taking a look at the SPY on the 4-hour time frame before we get into Rdbx over here, we could end up seeing the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF right here, coming back down to about 407.92, that 13 EMA on this 4-hour time frame, as a little bit of a pullback before either it wants to break to the downside or a potential rally back up after that retest or a little bit of a cool off period. But looking at Rdbx here, another retail favorite because it is heavily shorted, 93.3% estimated short interest right now. Now, when we take a look at the chart here, we're going to get a little bit of a better picture specifically on the 4-hour time frame of exactly what we're looking at. So Rdbx right here was up 16.28% today. But the 4-hour time frame doesn't really look all that good for buy orders. We see it's below the 200 EMA right now, violating a pretty key part of our 1348 trading system. And again, if you guys are interested in learning more, it is the first of the month. It's the best time to join. You get the most bang for your buck. Check out that link down below. Again, the RSI is below 50 right now, but it's very close to 50. It's at 49.87. We're seeing the MACD showing a little bit of bearish momentum here, even though it could cross back up. Shaft trend is trying to curl up as well, but you still have this cross down with the 1348 EMAs right here. But again, you're below this 200 EMA. And when you combine that with the fact that Rdbx has a couple of times tried to come up and attempted a test of this 200 EMA right here, which is right now sitting at about 599, it's going to be pretty difficult for Rdbx to break a couple of these key resistance levels. They're going to need some news on the merger that they're working on if they are going to see continued upside. And again, remember, just like we were talking about on Revlon, Rdbx was another stock that shot up, came right back down, ended up shooting up again, and then selling back off. But one of the things that I want you guys to look at here is it is completely fine to be making money with these stocks if you end up going in with a plan. Like I said a little bit earlier in the video, retail investors are really, really, really good at picking the stocks that are going to go on these parabolic moves. They just aren't necessarily as good at knowing when to get out. And I kind of want to illustrate this for you guys right here with Rdbx. So we see this cross up signal on this 4-hour time frame, which is going to be really great for swing trades. So it crosses up the price. Let's just say you get in right here at about 508. Now, if we're trading this conservatively and we're using all of the different little key aspects of 1348, we're trying to see how price action is going to be respecting these 13 EMAs, you actually could have ridden Rdbx on this initial run right here, let's say all the way up to about right here, a 45% gain on just stock. Now, if you start to see this happen again, where price action starts to separate away from this 13 EMA, what we like to call a rim, and you play this little move up back up here, breaking resistance, and all the way back down to here, but that breaking candle below that 13 EMA again, that's another 50% gain that you got right there on just shares. So again, there's a lot of money to be made with these stocks right here, but what I want you guys to think about, and the things that you need to understand before buying some of these stocks, is you need to have a plan going in. I personally, in our group, loves to trade with 1348. It's the most profitable EMA crossover, and the rules and the strategy that we have behind it allows you to fully take advantage of these types of stocks without getting burned. So again, guys, that's kind of going to wrap up this update on some of these stocks that have been going absolutely parabolic. If you guys did enjoy that information and a little bit of the technical analysis that we did cover in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting some of this information out to as many people who do want to learn. So guys, I will see you in the premium live stream tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8:45 Eastern. Other than that, peace.